So today we're working on topic 3.2, solving absolute value equations. And we are going to work on explain one in this video. So let's read through this little paragraph here. So it says that to solve absolute value equations algebraically, first isolate the absolute value expression on one side of the equation the same way you would isolate a variable. So we get the absolute value expression by itself. Then use the rule. If the absolute value of a, where a is a positive number, then x equals a or x equals negative a. So the way I remember this is so the side note I would make is that you have to split into a positive expression and a negative expression. All right. Notice the use of a disjunction here in the rule for x values. You cannot know from the original equation whether the expression inside the absolute value bars is positive or negative. So you have to work through both possibilities. So that's why we have to do that split, because we don't know what we had originally. So let's take and try that. We're going to do some solving, and then we're going to graph this. So I'm going to start by isolating the absolute value. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So I get the absolute value of 3x equals 6. Now that I have this, I'm going to do the disjunction. I'm going to split into a positive expression and a negative expression, and I put the negative actually on the x. I know in the example up there they put it on the a, but this is going to help us later when we do inequalities. So that's why I put it in the other. That's why I disagree slightly with them. But it's worked for me for many years. I'm going to go ahead and solve these now. So I get x equals 2, or x equals, this is really a negative 3, divide by the negative 3, so negative 2. And then I would simply just plot dots, solid dots, on the number line. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. So again, I'm going to isolate the absolute value. So 4x minus 5 equals, I'm adding 2 to both sides. So when I add 2, I get 21. I'm going to divide by 3. So I get the absolute value of 4x minus 5 equals 7. Now I'm going to split it into a positive expression and a negative expression. And really, technically, the word or should be in there. So I am going to go ahead and solve this. So I get 4x equals, I add the 5, so that gives me 12. Divide by 4, I get 3. Technically, I want to distribute that negative in. So plus 5 equals 7. It only goes into the left side of the equation. And then I'm going to subtract the 5, which is going to give me a 2. And then I'm going to divide by the 4, which is going to give me negative 2/4, which equals negative 1/2. All right, so let's plot that. So x equals 3 would be here. And notice they even scaled it in 1/2 for you, didn't they? And negative 1/2 would be there. All right, let's keep going. We're going to try this again a couple more times. So again, I need to isolate the absolute value. So I'm going to get rid of the 1/2 by multiplying by 2, which is technically its reciprocal. So we'd have the absolute value of x plus 2 equals 20. I'm down to just the absolute value, so we we split it into a positive expression and a negative expression. I purposely do that so you remember it. So we're going to subtract the 2, which is going to give me 18. Really, we should have the word or in there. I'm going to distribute the negative, so negative x minus 2 equals 20. I am going to add the 2, which would give me 22, and divide by the negative, which is going to give me negative 22. So it is 18 or negative 22. So 18 would be probably, let's see, that's not scaled very well, is it? 18 is probably going to land in there somewhere. And negative 22 probably in here. Okay, let's do one more in this video. So we're going to go ahead and subtract the 5. Because again, we are isolating the absolute value. So that's going to be negative 4. Then we're going to divide by the -2. So we're going to have absolute value of 3x minus 6 equals 2. Now I'm going to split it because we're just down to absolute value. So I split it into a positive expression and a negative expression. Again, we put parentheses around the negative one because we're going to have a distribute there. So I'm going to get, because the negative affects both terms. So I'm going to add the 6. So I get 3x equals 8. So divide by 3. So x equals 8/3. I'm going to distribute this in. So negative 3x plus 6 equals 2. I'm going to subtract the 6. So I get -4. I'm going to divide by the 3. So I get -4 divided by -3, which is going to be positive 4/3. And of course, put the word or in there because it's a disjunction. So we're going to do 8/3. Let's see. It's scaled in every 2/3, huh? So that's 2/3, 3/3. No, 2/3, 4/3, 6/3, 8/3. Okay, so 8/3 has got to be right there, and 4/3 has got to be right there.